The immigration problem affects so many different parts of our system, and by allowing illegal immigrants to flood our system, we effectively destroy the effective systems we did have, like our hospitalization system, the school system, the police response system. All these things get damaged because we allow illegal aliens to draw from these things without having to be part of the community.
Sergeant Richard Valdemar worked as a Los Angeles Sheriff's deputy for decades and became an international gang specialist. He's particularly concerned about the current legislation being proposed by the federal government, specifically Senate Bill 744. His concerns are national in scope, but based on his years of fighting gangsters in Southern California.
I have to speak from my experience. My experience is in Los Angeles. USC studies show that 1 in 10 residents of Los Angeles County is here without documentation, is here illegally. I have to tell you that the 3 major gangs in Los Angeles, the Mara Salvatrucha, MS-13, the 18th Street Gang, and the Florence 13 Gang out of the Florence area of Los Angeles, are all primarily composed of undocumented or illegal aliens. So it affects us.
And the effects will be extremely damaging because, according to him, there isn't an effective method in the current proposed legislation to prohibit dangerous foreign nationals from becoming legal citizens.
People are not all here just because they want to get a job in washing cars or picking lettuce. There are people who are here for criminal purposes, and oftentimes they're saturating some of these communities and doing their criminal activity. So we should have the tool of exposing and getting rid of these people, deporting them back to their country of origin. But 744, part of the provisions of that law say that if that person makes a statement that they denounce their former gang affiliation, that they would then be open to the path to citizenship. Well, in my experience, gang members, they lie. They lie to law enforcement all the time. So what would keep a gang member from lying to immigration officers so that they could have legalization and come in as citizens? Nothing. In fact, that would behoove them. They could move around more freely that way. 744, of course, does nothing to actually protect us against gang members. 744 opens the path to citizenship for gang members, cartel members, and terrorists. Because we got to remember that we're not just talking about a racial thing. The open immigration policies and the turning your other way on the laws against immigration don't just apply to Mexicans. A lot of people try to make it a racial issue. It's not a racial issue because we have people coming in from Eastern Europe, Africa, and other countries that hate us, and they're coming in under false papers. They're entering the United States with bad intentions. They don't intend to get that job at the car wash. They intend to do harm to citizens of the United States. So if we have these open policies where if we have any kind of a reference to them being involved in some kind of gang activity, and all they have to do is say that they no longer affiliate with that group, that we have to give them a path to citizenship. That's crazy.
It is amazing that proponents of this bill can be found on both sides of the aisle. And these proponents are working so hard to push this legislation that it makes one wonder what their motivations are. It's like the health care legislation, currently referred to as Obamacare, where the Congress twisted every arm, pulled every parliamentary trick, and bullied everyone that got in their way to pass legislation that few people even wanted. Richard became quite emotional as he explained why he's fighting so hard against the tide.
This huge political machine that's steamrolling over us, sometimes I get frustrated, sometimes I want to give up. I mean, I'm retired. I'm an old man. It'd be easier for me to go to my little place in Arizona and forget about all this. My parents raised me to say that I owed something for living here. That I had to return to the United States something and leave it a better place than what I found it. It's not a better place, and it's going to hell. So as long as I can, I will resist and I will fight against this and support the Constitution and free people everywhere. I'm sorry.
Many Americans feel the same frustration that the country they know and love is being destroyed right before their very eyes. It's a very personal issue with him on many levels, as he explained.
You're attacked and called a hater. If you mention anything about immigration, you're a racist, which is one of the reasons I speak out. They're going to have a lot of trouble calling me a racist. You know, both my grandfathers from both sides of my family fought in the revolution in Mexico. They fought for Villa. They were Villistas. Okay, my people came here legally. They love Mexico. I love Mexico, but I don't love the corrupt government of Mexico. I don't love the corruption that's occurring there, and I don't want America to become another corrupt Mexico. So I speak out.
Senate Bill 744 seems to have a lot of momentum. We ask him what he thinks we should do.
What are we to do with this bill? First of all, we need to tell everybody that the bill is a farce, that it's not a fair immigration reform. These are titles that they put on these things so that the public, because they're not going to read the huge bill itself, they're only going to see the presentation that the congressman makes and the name of the bill. But in fact, it weakens law enforcement, it weakens our system, it opens the border up to more criminality. We need to stop it. So how do you stop it? Write Congress, call your representatives, even if there are like mine, Flake and McCain, those are my representatives, but they're hearing from me every day if I can help it.
And it appears that the tried and true way of making calls and sending letters is still the best way to affect our legislators. We need to melt the phones with the heat of our calls to the offices of the Capitol if we want to stop this legislation. Call several times a day, over and over, to voice your displeasure. Otherwise, they will ignore us.
We're a trifle, and so they can cast us aside. But I don't think we are, you know. And the Nixon administration talked about the silent majority. We are the silent majority. It might be a term that they laugh at now, but if we all stood up, I think they wouldn't laugh.
Always an optimist, Richard Valdemar is hopeful that we will overcome this mistaken course and that we will self-correct.
Yes, right. This is America. We've done miracles before. When everybody said we're down and out, we've come back. You know, so I believe in us, the American people, but we have to drive our own car. We can't let somebody else drive a car for us. We have to take that wheel away from those people who have screwed it up and take it in the direction we actually want to go.
We'd like to know what you, the viewers, think. Please respond to our survey and leave your comments below. Number 1. Do you support the U.S. government giving citizenship to foreign nationals without checking to make certain that they don't have criminal backgrounds? Yes or no? Do you think the Democrats who are supporting this Amnesty citizenship scheme are doing this to assure a future permanent voter base? Yes or no? Number 3, do you think the Republicans who are supporting this Amnesty citizenship scheme so that big corporations can have cheap labor? Yes or no? Please be sure to leave your comments below. I'm Leslie Dutton. Thank you.